Hello, Africa. Keep watching AAU TV.
Good morning to you and you're welcome. This is Hello Africa Morning Show. We are coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities here in Accra, Ghana. This program is brought to you by the AAU and also proudly sponsored by Vena Purified Water and Biko Drinks. My name is Isabella Tete Ahenakwa and today I'm joined by my co-host.
My name is Philemon Edwards and you're welcome to Hello Africa Morning Show as the 17th of March, 2025.
Exactly.
And I don't know if you are counting down with me, but the first quarter of the year is about to go down. The expectations, the ambitions, the what's that thing we do during the beginning of the year? Resolutions.
2025.
How well is it going? The first quarter is about going down. I mean, I reminded myself this morning. Doesn't matter. I'm reminding you. So if you haven't looked at it, go check it and see if you are on track or if you are falling off track. Anyway, so back to Hello Africa. This morning, we are looking at a number of things, interesting things. We are starting somewhere in Ghana. We are talking about the IGP, Ghana's new IGP, who is trending so much because there's a lot of ideologies on social media about why our former IGP had to be changed. But I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Everybody has their opinion. So yeah, fair enough. So we're talking about the IGP. We are talking about you remember the KNUST student that died because of her boyfriend? That issue is also is up here again, and we are going to be talking about some sports. Unfortunately, my beloved Liverpool lost last night to Newcastle in a 2-1 defeat in the Carabao Cup. But I mean, I'm happy for Newcastle. You know why? In 70 years, they haven't won a trophy.
Too bad.
70 years.
70 years.
So since 1954. So I'm sad for Liverpool, but I'm happy for Newcastle because to be fair, as a football person, they played us out. Really, like they had a better time with the game. Every 50-50 ball, Liverpool was unable to win it. But so congratulations to all the Newcastle fans.
Exactly, and we are also going to look at some strategies put in place by Trump in terms of currently there are some lists of African countries who have been banned from visa acquisition, and also the South Africa ambassador at Washington DC also facing some challenges being sacked from the US. And this and many more interesting stories for you. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we will delve into the top African news. Please stay tuned.
I'm here with the Association of African Universities Television, AUTV. I just want to say that without the media, you won't know what's going on in the world. Even with the media, you sometimes don't know what's going on in the world. So you need to tune in to the reliable sources who are really on the front lines, who can give you the information you need and give you facts, not conjecture, give you real news, not fake news. And this is the place to find it, AUTV.
The voice of higher education in Africa.
This program is proudly sponsored by Vena Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Biko Drinks.
You're welcome back from the break, and now we have the top African news brought to you by Jemima Dela Demdochi. Hello, Jemima.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
You're
How
looking.
about you?
I'm fine. You're looking good.
So do you.
Thank you. So take us through the top African news for
Of course,
today.
we have quite interesting stories for today, and beginning this, in a major shakeup, President John Dramani Mahama has removed Dr. John Akufu Dampari as Inspector General of Police, appointing COP Christian Tete Yohonu as his replacement. And Dr. Dampare expressed gratitude to Ghanaians and the police service, reflected on his 35-year journey, and pledged his continued commitment to national service.
Ghana's security leadership sees a major change as President John Dramani Mahama announces the removal of Dr. George Akufo Dampare as Inspector General of Police, replacing him with the Commissioner of Police, Christian Tete Yohonu. The announcement made on March 13, 2025, cited constitutional provisions and consultations with the Council of State. Kopi Yohonu, a seasoned officer with over 4 decades of service, takes charge at a crucial time, tasked with leading the modernization and transformation of the Ghana Police Service. Meanwhile, Dr. Dampare, in an emotional farewell statement, expressed gratitude to Ghanaians, the government, and the police service for their support throughout his tenure. He thanked former President Nana Akufo-Addo for the opportunity to serve and acknowledged President Mahama for their brief but cordial working relationship. Reflecting on his 35-year journey from General Constable to IGP, Dr. Dampare praised the dedication of police officers and the collaboration of religious leaders, civil society, and international partners in shaping the service reforms. Despite his exit, he reaffirmed his commitment to national service, promising to continue serving Ghana with discipline, honor, and integrity. As Kopi Yohonu takes over the reins, expectations are high for him to drive the reforms needed to address Ghana's contemporary security challenges.
So moving on, Ghana and Japan has formalized a $13.44 million grant agreement to improve electricity supply in Tamale, aiming to enhance energy infrastructure and ensure reliable power for homes, businesses, and essential services.
Ghana's energy sector receives a major boost as the government signs a $13.44 million grant agreement with Japan to enhance electricity supply in Tamale, the capital of the northern region. The deal, signed on March 14, 2025, between Ghana's Finance Minister Dr. Castle Atoforsen and Japan International Cooperation Agency Chief Representative Suzuki Momoko, will fund the construction of a new power substation and the expansion of distribution lines. This initiative aims to address power challenges in the region, providing more stable and reliable electricity for households, businesses, and essential services. Dr. Forsen described the project as a significant step toward economic growth and improved living standards, highlighting its potential to support business expansion and job creation in Tamale and surrounding communities. He expressed Ghana's gratitude for Japan's continuous support, emphasizing that such collaborations are vital for bridging the country's energy gaps and driving industrialization. Once completed, the project is expected to transform Tamale's energy landscape, stimulating local enterprise and enhancing the quality of life for residents.
The humanitarian crisis in Sudan is worsening, with 12.1 million women and girls and increasingly men and boys at risk of sexual violence, an 80% rise from last year. UNICEF reports that nearly 2/3 of Sudan's population, including 16 million children, require urgent humanitarian aid. Famine, disease outbreak, and collapsing infrastructure are deepening the crisis, with millions of lives at stake.
Sudan's humanitarian crisis has reached catastrophic levels, with an alarming rise in sexual violence and widespread famine threatening millions of lives. UNICEF Executive Director Catherine Russell told the UN Security Council that 12.1 million women and girls, and increasingly men and boys, face the threat of sexual violence, marking an 80% surge from last year. Sudan's collapsing economy and infrastructure have left more than 30 million people in need of humanitarian assistance, 60 million of them being children. The situation is deteriorating rapidly, with famine spreading across at least 5 hotspots and 1.3 million children under 5 at risk of severe malnutrition. Deadly disease outbreaks, including cholera, malaria and dengue, are imminent due to Sudan's failing health systems. The crisis extends beyond health and nutrition, with 16.5 million school-age children out of school, placing an entire generation at risk. Reports of grave violations against children are rising, with over 900 incidents recorded between June and December 2024, most involving the killing and maiming of children in conflict zones. Médecins Sans Frontières highlighted the ethnic violence in Al Geneina, where thousands of Marsa-led civilians fled after attacks by the Rapid Support Forces. Survivors reported targeted killings based on their ethnic identity. International calls for action are growing louder. The UK plans to convene foreign ministers in London this April to address the conflict and improve humanitarian response. The US has pledged continuous support for life-saving aid despite ongoing foreign policy realignment. As the rainy season approaches, aid organizations warn of worsening food shortages and disease outbreaks. With millions of lives hanging in the balance, the global community faces mounting pressure to act swiftly and decisively.
Also, the European Union has announced a 4.7 billion euros, that is a 5.1 billion US dollars investment in South Africa aimed at supporting green energy and vaccine production. This commitment made during the first EU-South Africa summit in the first 7 years strengthens economic and political ties between the two parties.
In a historic step toward deepening economic and political ties, the European Union has pledged 4.7 billion euros to South Africa to boost green energy and vaccine production. The commitment was announced during the first bilateral summit between the EU and South Africa in 7 years, held in Cape Town at President Cyril Ramaphosa's office. European Commission President Ursula highlighted the shared histories of the EU and South Africa and their common journey for reconciliation and peace. A major portion of the investment will support South Africa's transition from coal to cleaner energy sources through the Just Energy Transition Partnership, a commitment the EU reaffirmed despite the US withdrawing from a similar initiative. President Ramaphosa praised the collaboration, emphasizing the importance of defending shared values like democracy and the rule of law. He also aims to use South Africa's G20 presidency to advocate for debt relief and climate financing for developing nations. The summit comes amid rising geopolitical tensions and a growing rift between South Africa and the United States following South Africa's legal action against Israel at the UN's top court and subsequent US sanctions. Meanwhile, EU-US trade tensions escalated as President Donald Trump announced plans for a 200% tariff on European wine and spirits, prompting a firm but open response from von der Leyen. As South Africa and the EU strengthen their partnership, this investment promises to transform the country's energy landscape and support leadership on the global stage.
So confusion deepens over US President Donald Trump's vision for Gaza's future. Report says that the US and Israel have reached out to Sudan, Somalia and Somaliland to host Palestinians displaced from the Gaza Strip, a move Sudan has already rejected.
Fresh controversy surrounds U.S. President Donald Trump's vision for Gaza's future. Despite Trump's denial of any forced displacement, it is reported that U.S. and Israeli officials have reached out to 3 East African nations, Sudan, Somalia and Somaliland, to receive Palestinians uprooted from the enclave. Sudan has already rejected the proposal, while Somalia and Somaliland claim they have had no discussions on the matter. But these countries are facing severe crises of their own, including civil war, drought, and famine, raising questions about their ability to take in displaced people. Trump's earlier idea of turning Gaza into a real estate project has been widely condemned, and the plan to relocate Palestinians has sparked global outrage. Rights groups warn that any forced removal could amount to a war crime, while Arab nations continue pushing for an alternative reconstruction plan to keep Palestinians in their homeland. The White House has yet to comment on the reported outreach efforts.
That is all for our top African stories. My name is Chimaima Deladem Duche. We'll go for a quick break. Stay tuned.
Explore a whole new world of exciting visuals with AAU TV. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on AAU TV. It's not just about watching TV, it's about experiencing something special. AAU TV reaches over 25 countries in Africa, bringing you a blend of knowledge and fun. Learn about different cultures as you enjoy the shows. If you have events or want to showcase your business, we've got you covered. Watch AAU TV free-to-air channel on satellite. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at AAU TV. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
Hello Africa, keep watching AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
This program is proudly sponsored by Vena Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
Welcome back from that commercial break, and you are still watching the Hello Africa Morning Show, coming to you live from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities. And next on our item, we will go straight into our news portal review. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection has strongly condemned the tragic death of Joanna Deladem Yabani, a final year biological sciences student at KNUST. Joanna was found dead on campus on February 27, 2025. Preliminary investigations have led to the arrest of a suspect believed to be connected to the crime. The ministry described the act as heinous and extended heartfelt condolences to Joanna's family, friends, and the university community. Sector Minister Dr. Agnes Namomo Lache has personally engaged with the victim's family, assuring them of the ministry's full support during this difficult period. The incident has renewed calls for urgent action against gender-based violence. The ministry emphasized that no one should suffer such cruelty, especially from someone they trust. It urged law enforcement to ensure swift and firm justice and noted that it's working with police, civil society, and university authorities to strengthen preventive measures. Students were encouraged to seek help through school counseling units, parents, and the police if they feel unsafe. The ministry also called on the public to speak up against gender-based violence and support efforts to build a safer, more just society. For support or to report cases, the public is urged to call the ministry's helpline for hope on 0800 800 800 or 0800 900 900, or report to the Domestic Violence Call Center on 0800 111 222. And if you are in Ghana, these are the numbers you should be working with. So Bella, we are aware of this news that came up a couple of weeks ago about the death of the young lady Joanna. again, it's hard to talk about this because it's not a pleasant thing. And I am still surprised that the gender minister is now calling for swift action for justice.
Yeah.
I was thinking if a suspect has been apprehended, by now we should know where the situation is going. But it doesn't look like it. Again, I'm guessing that's why the minister is calling for swift action.
Exactly. So I agree with you, and we all know usually it takes quite some time for investigations to go on. Yes, he's a suspect, but then investigation is still going. I think they've had their second hearing in court and postponed for another time. And you can't really say this is the situation until the judge or the courts finalize everything and then gives his or his his I don't know what's the name for it,
for them to pronounce their verdict,
whether he's going to jail or whether he's not guilty or he was guilty. So we really can't do much. But I think for the gender of the gender minister to come out and also put a word in it, it shows that he's also in support. And I really don't know what she has done so far. I really don't know. But I mean, it shows that they are also committed.
She's concerned,
like the story made mention, they've reached out to the family in the school. They are working together with the school to ensure that justice is put in place. At the same time, the safety of the students are at better place.
Well, to be fair, I am impressed that there's a suspect already in custody, because this is what will aid the investigation. I'm only saying what I'm saying basically because the gender minister has come to put in a word. What it means is that there probably might be some sort of a relaxed situation somewhere. That's how come. And usually when families are hurt, they want to see justice. So I am thinking this is based on that premise that she's putting in a word, so that the officers in charge, whoever, the police, whoever's responsible for the investigations will do their best. The court will also do their thing, whatever they need to do, and then justice will be served. Because I can imagine what pain that the families or friends of Joanna might be going through as we speak. So I think it's a good call.
It is. But let's talk about domestic violence. It's something that I really don't. Well, it depends. We are humans, and we all have ways and means to solve issues. Some people are violent and they hit just to calm themselves, and some may talk, find solutions and all that. But as a student in school, I'm not saying you don't have the right to love or you don't have the right to be in a relationship. But look, using this student as this situation as a case study, do you, as young as you are, like to be able to kill a human, it's not just even your enemy, someone you love, someone, you claim to love, someone you've shared some mutual feelings and I mean,
it's weird. It is really weird, and I am more disturbed knowing that they are young. I can't remember their ages, but I'm definitely sure they are both under 25 years. Ideally, if you ask me, students, you should be concentrating on your studies. I've read some news. I can't say for sure that this is the truth, but I read on social media, on some pages, that both of them were living together, if I'm not mistaken, per what I read. So at a point, it felt as if what's it called? The suspect, Daniel, was not treating Joanna correctly, and then even when people talk about it, the lady tries to defend the guy.
The lady's father even stopped her from try to stop
I did
the relationship.
see that part of the story as well. So it does not make a lot of sense to me for young people who have been sent to school to be prioritizing a relationship ahead of their studies. I mean, like you said, it's not like they don't have the right to love, but at this point of your age, your academics are far more important than any other thing. I mean, to learn that they have gone to the extent of staying together, living as a couple in school. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I would do if that was my daughter, if that was my sister, but I cannot think. I don't get the grasp of it to understand why students want to live like a couple. I mean, I'm not happy this thing has happened to her, because it bothers me to know that she was even defending him in many circumstances or situations. I mean, you shouldn't be during an abusive relationship for any reason. For any reason. So it's really sad to see that at their level, young people under the age of 25, domestic violence was right there.
The first solution or action to take.
It's difficult to understand. It's really difficult to understand. Unfortunately, Joanna is not here to tell her side of the story really, and I'm not sure how much of the truth the suspect will say, because the other person involved is not there to defend themselves. I mean, it's sad. So I mean, if you ask me, I just think that maybe a lot of young people who may be in this kind of situation should take a cue from there. If you're in an abusive relationship, I mean, advise yourself. Think about it. I don't know if people think that when they're in love with one person, they think that it's just that one person for life.
They say love is blind. The love is too strong.
Well, at this point, that blindness might not be the solution to, or will not work right for you to want to blind yourself because of somebody's abusive behavior in the relationship. If you're suffering this much, I mean, I don't think you should go on with it.
And some people are also relating this situation, especially the guys, part as he having a mental health issues, because apparently, according to the CCTV video, which we all have not seen except the authorities, so the guy stayed around the body for a while, before going, and then the next morning they had a test, and the same outfit the guy used. On a normal circumstance, after you murder someone, you quickly change yourself, even hide the evidence.
Outfit,
it's the same outfit.
Evidence.
It's the same outfit he wore to the exams hall too.
Wow.
Exactly. So people are saying probably he's not too okay in terms of
mentally he's not okay.
But so this actually calls for the agency of lecturers, professors, like people who are even close friends, to step in when you see some changes among yourself. Probably the guy has been showing, maybe this violence may be a symptom or some of the reaction in terms of mental issues. So we should come in and then support with counseling.
That's an interesting development there, because I feel like, I don't know how the KNUST setup is like when it comes to their counseling units, and if it's welcoming to students who think they have mental issues or any other kind of issues they are dealing with, that they will need some sort of counseling. Because like we're saying, if Daniel indeed had a mental challenge, that challenge might be another challenge for him to think about if he would even go forward to the counseling units to say I need help or not. That's one thing. And like you said, people around, if they noticed, were they able to advise him, or were they able to even make a report on his behalf? Things of this nature. Like these are the things. So it's beginning to make more sense to me to understand that I've always said that we don't take mental health challenges in Africa seriously. And this is the result of some of the things we have just seen right now. So I think that we have to start thinking beyond ourselves. If you are around people, I mean, we are a society, we are a community, wherever you find yourself. So when you're around people, I think that it is good enough to notice the people. If you have noticed changes in their behavior, the way they do things, the way they react, whether the reaction is towards you or not, you should be interested, because you don't even know if their next line of action will be against you or not.
Exactly.
Because this is he allegedly murdering his girlfriend. That's somebody he loves, trusts. Apparently, they are staying together. So if he can be this hostile, I mean, sorry to use that word, towards his girlfriend, you can imagine what
it can be to anyone.
To any person. Especially somebody he finds or thinks might be a threat to him. So it's a big deal. The case is just not only a domestic violence issue. It goes beyond that into a mental health situation.
Exactly.
Anyway, so we'll move on with the news portal, and in our next story, the University of Education Winneba, UEW, has withdrawn 38 level 100 students for failing to meet academic requirements. The announcement was made on March 7, 2025, following an audit of the students' academic performance across their first and second semesters. According to the university, The affected students either failed to attain the minimum cumulative grade point average CGPA of 1.0 or failed more than 3 courses after resets. A statement signed by the acting head of the Social Studies Education Department, Dr. Mohammed Adam, confirmed that these students are no longer eligible to attend level 200 classes or exams. Counseling services were reportedly offered to the students before their withdrawal, in line with the revised undergraduate students' handbook. Out of the 38 students, 32 failed to meet the CGPA requirement, while 6 exceeded the maximum allowed failed courses. The university has directed departments to update their records accordingly. The news has sparked conversations online with some netizens calling for more support system to assist struggling students. Despite the backlash, UEW insists the decision aligns with its commitment to uphold academic integrity and maintain high standards. The administration urged all students to strictly follow academic guidelines and seek help when facing academic challenges. This is coming with some mixed reaction in there, you know. What do you think, Bella?
38 students, that's quite from one university. It's quite a large number.
Yeah.
And I also, when I saw this, I was thinking, I think this may be the second, level 100 students, this may be the second group from their free senior high school.
Possibly, yeah.
So I was thinking, is it maybe a disadvantage from that that strategy?
That's some deep thinking there.
Yeah, because initially, before you go to secondary school, that means you had passed, or maybe your family is a bit wealthy. But now it's free to everyone, and anybody can enter. So I don't know, and it's from secondary school you enter into the university, and now these students are going to the university with a bit of I don't know how the right word to use, but so I was just thinking aloud, and I know 38 students is quite a number. It's quite, and to me, I like it's even out without the student name to ginger the rest to learn. I was once a student, and we all know how level 100 in life in school as a level 100 student is. You were in, I won't say prison, but you were in a confined area through secondary school. You didn't have that of your freedom. Even though you're a senior, you won't have that freedom. Now you are out in the university.
Where there's more freedom.
More freedom. If you are in a hostel, you have everything to do. You can do whatever you feel like doing. So sometimes studying and taking studies serious may not be there because you want to enjoy life. You'll be going for programs, events,
parties.
and all. You see. So to me, I think we've all been there. But when you see your first semester results, that is when it should trigger you to sit up and learn. Because I can use myself as an example. My level 100 first semester results is nothing to write home about, trust me. But when I saw it, I mean, it encouraged, I was like, no, I have to sit up because where I'm coming from, I know where I was coming from. So I had to, and I'm the first child too, so I need to set myself as an example for my little siblings, you know. So this shouldn't, well, I don't know what the challenge of the students, but I'm just using this platform to encourage students that it's normal for you to kind of fail for a level 100 and then you start developing yourself. But use your first semester result as the point to either sit up and do more, or you know where you stand, whether you are failing or you are on the right track. So that is what I would say about this story. It's quite sad, but at the same time, it's good just to encourage
other students. I am looking at this from the point where I'm thinking. I mean, like you said, we are not too sure the issue is related to all of the 38 students. But is it possible that this happened because they probably were not doing the courses that they were supposed to be doing, or probably they were giving courses that were probably bigger than their capacity, so to speak, I mean, for the lack of a better statement. I'm saying this because, you know, usually when you apply to go to school, I mean, in the case of Ghana, you can apply for a certain course, but you're probably given another course. I don't know the situation with this 38 students. So, like you said, if you have done your first semester exams, you have written it, and you see your GPA, and you know that below 1.0, even for some schools there's 1.5, you cannot go below that.
Yeah.
So if you have done probably 1.0 in your first semester, that is a cue. That's a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Then in your second semester, you sit up and do what you have to do to make sure you have jumped above 1.0.
Yeah.
So if you've done 2 semesters and then you are unable to cross this, I mean, I'm not condemning the students, but I do know for sure that there's a record or there's something that must be prompting you to know that, okay, I need to do better.
Yeah.
Like in your case, you said, you saw that, you know where you're coming from. You're the person who is the first child of your parents in your family. You need a certain example for your younger siblings.
Yeah.
So you know that you cannot afford to fail. That's enough motivation, you know. So I feel like, regardless of the situation, students should be able to challenge themselves.
Yeah.
You go to school for a purpose. Now I'm thinking to myself, I don't know what they are going to do. Will they have the chance to reapply even to the same university again or other universities again? I mean, because at this point, they may be going through some challenges, thinking they have failed, what is next? And I mean, it can result in anything. Again, mental health comes in here because if they are not taking these reactions correctly, something might go wrong. So I'm glad that the university is providing some sort of counseling for them. I just hope that it's not just a one-time thing. Counseling, most of the times, we underestimate them in this country or in Africa. So people might tend to do it for probably just a one-time thing or probably at most a month. But it's a challenge that is not going to leave you because the thing is with you.
Yeah.
You are thinking about your self-esteem, what people might be saying, all of those things.
Yeah.
It's not everybody that has the capacity to handle some of these things. I mean, you can imagine this issue being the talk of campus.
Yeah.
If you're in class with 1 or 2 people and you know that, okay, this person has dropped off or has fallen off, I mean, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And just like you made mention, one of the disadvantages is that this is going to bring is a dropout of school.
Yeah.
If you don't have the self-esteem, high self-esteem, you may not even be encouraged to
Exactly. You may not even want to to reapply.
To reapply.
Even to the same school, even if you want to go
Different
to other school, you might not.
Yeah. So when you made mention, we don't know where this the main challenge of the students are facing. Maybe they are doing courses that they are not really interested or they don't have the capacity to do. You know, most times, especially parents, when you're about to go to university, they're like, I want you to do this. So this is the course you
It
should
actually
do.
even begins from secondary school.
Exactly.
I remember in my case, we'll get back to your point, but I just want to make this point. I remember in my case when I went to secondary school, we had a chance in our first term to sit in class, and then even up to our second term, I saw people. I did science in secondary school. I saw people sit in class. I sat in class with. The next term when we came to school, they said to me they are not doing science anymore. They are doing general arts or they are doing business because they have said to themselves they are not doing well with the course, and then they go out. But there might be other kids who may not have that
courage,
mental fortitude or courage to walk out of that science class or whatever class they're doing. And it's a similar situation in the university.
It is.
So I agree with you in a certain sense. Sometimes parents want to live their lives through their children.
Exactly.
So the counseling must not only be on the part of the schools.
No.
It must begin from the homes. But then, you see, this is a difficult situation because we cannot sit here and think that we can tell parents
Oh no,
the way they have to handle their kids.
Well, we are not telling them. We are just creating awareness and educating them.
Of course, I agree.
You can choose to take, but I mean, it's better to take than to see your child fail badly to the extent that you can't even. So what are they going to do? Reapply, and okay, maybe the student. So I was just also wondering how sometimes your fine aggregates from secondary school also determines whether you are going to. So were they good back in secondary school before they went to?
This thing is tricky because I know people, who probably during BEC did very well, and in secondary school they didn't do well.
Okay.
There are people who also didn't do well in BEC and suddenly in secondary school. Okay, for example, I did science. When I did science, I didn't feel I did well, thanks to God. But eventually, I figured that I was not a science material.
Okay.
It's the reason I'm sitting here right now.
Yeah.
And doing what I'm doing now. If I had continued in the science field, I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah.
But I did advise myself when I was going to go to the tertiary level, to the polytechnic, and then I went to do business and then secretaryship and management studies. Went on to do my first degree and did management studies, and then did a master's in development communication. That's why I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
If I had gone through the science thing, I don't know what would have happened. So when I give you my science results, even though I didn't fail, and you look at them and you look at what I've done beyond secondary school of the science, you probably will say these are results from two different people, but it's the same person. Because when I advised myself and I moved on, the change was better, the grades were far better, and it looks really good. Okay, so these are some of the challenges some of these people might be dealing with. So these things are really tricky. So if you are a parent and you think that maybe your child will do well in a certain course, I think it is only fair to allow them to have a discussion and tell you what they also think and guide them, you know, to shape them to make and help them make the choices, because at the end of the day, it's really their lives, but you are the one footing the bills, so you want to see them do well in school so that at the end of the day they have good jobs, they have a good career and things. So this thing is really tricky.
It is.
You have to look at it like a here and there kind of situation, you know. So hopefully, but I just do hope that these 38 students will still be able to make something out of their lives.
Exactly. And to our students, when you start feeling issues, or when you start facing issues like this, you have to start seeking for help from your parents and also from your lecturers.
It's very necessary.
So moving on to the next story, and still on education, Angola's higher education sector is under scrutiny following a government decision to suspend 83 health-related courses after a 2024 review found widespread shortcomings. The suspension blocks new student admissions for the current academic year, which began in October 2024, reducing available course places nationwide by nearly 39,000. More than half of the 145 health courses reviewed were found not to meet basic academic standards, such as full-time staff and research policies. Only students enrolled before the 2024-2025 academic year can continue their studies in the affected programs. These institutions have been given 2 years to address the issues before reassessment. The review, led by Angola's National Institute for Assessment, Accreditation and Recognition of Higher Education Studies, is part of a wider evaluation of the entire higher education sector. A follow-up assessment released in February 2025 revealed that 148 out of 287 education courses also failed accreditation, with similar 2-year suspensions from student recruitment starting October 2025. And this is from the University World News. So there are the story continues, but we're going to pause here and then Phil. So this 83 health courses being withdrawn in Angola. So I think last year we've been talking about students who completed with some programs, and unfortunately they are not accredited, so they can't even secure jobs with this, with their certificate, further the education and all that. And this actually called for the accreditation agencies to set up and start assessing universities.
I think that story was from Nigeria, if I remember.
Not even just Nigeria, like other countries. Like I think Makerere University also faced such a challenge. Nigeria, like you mentioned, and other parts of African countries.
And now this is Angola.
Yes, this is Angola.
Must we be worried?
Yes.
Because it seems like it's becoming a bigger issue when it comes to accreditation. Because you have just given a roll call of these situations we have discussed. To know that 83 health-related courses, that's a lot.
83 health. This is just one sector, health. So imagine the others. If they are to access all higher education, and no matter where the sector, no matter the discipline, no matter what you are studying, no matter the mode of university, imagine.
Look, I'm concerned here because we are saying this is 83 health-related courses. Now I'm thinking to myself, all these 83 courses are health-related. People may have studied them and may have graduated. So if these courses have been withdrawn because of accreditation issues and all of these problems we are seeing, the people who have graduated these courses, how sure are we?
And even those studying,
Exactly.
now they've prevented people from applying.
Yes.
So currently you can't apply to that course.
So within 2 years they must restructure
studying
themselves.
and those who have already graduated, what is their fate?
So my concern is those who have graduated and probably are in practice, are we sure that they have learned the right things, and are they practicing what they have learned? And I mean, we don't even know if what they have practiced is the right thing or not, because these are issues of accreditation.
Yeah.
So I am worried because when it comes to health issues, when you go to any health facility, and most people are novices when it comes to their health, and a doctor or a nurse diagnoses you of whatever. If you are not careful, what it means is that at that point, your life temporarily is not in the hands of God. It's in the hands of that person who is willing to administer whatever and diagnosing you or whatever it is. So if care is not taken, I don't want to say the other things, but you can imagine where my thoughts are going.
I can imagine, and I know for sure that somebody out there is also thinking just as you were thinking. Myself, I was so curious. I was asking, like, okay, so what are the standards for a course or for a program or for a university to be accredited? What are the basic standards you should? And this actually brings us to the Hacker 3 project. That's the harmonization, quality assurance, and accreditation in Africa. This is led by or funded by the European Union in collaboration with African Union. And so currently there is a standard, or there is a guideline for all that the African Union is hoping that all accreditation agencies apply to, ensuring that they access higher education institutions with these standard guidelines that was established by the African Union under the ACA project. And so, like I was saying, what are the basic standards? So, per my understanding, it's not really the course is wrong or whatever they are studying is wrong. It's actually, it's in place. But then you need to meet some standards.
Some standards, okay.
Like mentioned in the story, full-time staff.
Right.
Probably the lecturers who are teaching may not be full-time, and it's also it's not, it doesn't take in the standards. You have to be a full-time lecturer or a professor teaching that course.
Okay.
Or being in that school. You shouldn't play. You know, we've seen a lot of lecturers in so many schools doing this and doing that, like playing a lot of part-time jobs and all that. That may be one of the, but then looking at the Africa Standards and Guideline Quality Assurance Framework by the African Union, it has 3 parts. The first part is the internal quality assurance, the second is the external quality assurance, and then the third is the quality assurance agency. The first one, which is IQA, internal quality assurance, is used by the higher education. And since we are talking about university, I'm going to go by it. And it has 13 standards. So this is where we understand what are the basic needs or what higher education should have before being accredited. The first one is vision, mission, and then strategic objectives. You need to have your vision as a university. That is also, in fact, as an entity, that is what you should have first. That is going to guide you to achieve your whole purpose of being in existence. And then the second standard is governance and management. This is where the people who are going to be in the school, the heads, the presidents, faculty members, and all that comes in. How are you governing the institution, the university? Then the third one is human resources. Then financial resources management. How are you going to manage your finances as a university? Infrastructure and facilities. So this may be one challenge. Health-related issue. Are your school really, or even the program, do you really have all the infrastructure to ensure that students who are graduating from that with that course are well equipped to the standard? Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's also part of, for you to be assessed, they look at all these infrastructure and facilities. What do you have to be studying that course? Okay, you said you are running a program on AI, yet you don't have computers, yet your internet is very bad. How are you running? So how are students graduating from that school with that course? And then the sixth is student recruitment, admission, certification, and then support services. Design. And the seventh is design, approval, monitoring and evaluation, study programs. As an entity, as a university. In fact, I think I've experienced that before. Before we will graduate, maybe from level 100, moving to level 200.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is for the lecturers. They do this like evaluation, like you evaluate them, their studies, whether it was impactful, what did you learn, were they able to...
You give some sort of feedback to the university. Yeah.
You should have that system, that framework for your staff, for the programs, for even how you govern the school, how you run the school and everything. You should have that framework. And if you don't have that, they are not going to accredit the school.
Okay.
And then teaching, learning, and assessment is also related to that one. And then research and innovation. So there are lots of, like, quite a number of, even community engagement is also a standard. As a university, you should be able to engage the community, because when they are done, they are going back to the community. So how does the community understand the whole goal of the university? How are you impacting on the community? Do they understand your system? So I was really, curious to understand what are the standards. And I really hope I'll use this platform to encourage, or this is for the quality assurance agencies in Africa, and we want to have a harmonized system. We all should use this. Your context or wherever you are may be different, but if you have these guidelines, you can add up any as a criteria or any standard you want to. But I would encourage every quality assurance agency to stick to this. Very soon we'll be calling for applications. I won't use this platform to talk more, but
no, you should, because it's still part of the AAU objective. So you should.
It is.
But I'm happy to know that there are some detailed documents like this to help accreditation agencies for the universities in Africa, because this is really key. I am saddened by the fact that this is about the third or fourth time we are talking about accreditation when it comes to universities in Africa. It's a big deal, because at the end of the day, I am so concerned. This one we are talking about is specific to health-related courses. Beyond health-related courses, we are talking about graduates we are churning out who are supposed to be leaders of the various countries in Africa. These things are going to be challenges for eventually for the countries. You see, you can think about it that it might be like more of like an individual problem, like an institutional problem, but at the end of the day, there's a bigger picture where everybody fits in. And if we don't take care of some of these things, the challenges are going to be there. So I think that it's good that we have such programs put together to take care of accreditation, quality assurance, and all of the things that are needed to help us build a formidable higher educational structure for Africa. So if the institutions themselves will take it upon themselves to engage, I think that would be a good starting point. I know AU is doing a lot. The African Union is doing so much to make sure things are working out, but the institutions themselves must, we shouldn't make it look like, you're supposed to be part of AU, you're supposed to be working under the AU, so...
You should have the interest first.
You have the interest, because there's, like I'm saying, there's always a bigger picture. The mindsets. So I think that it will come back to leadership, or the people that lead these institutions, the chancellors, the vice chancellors, the registrars, whoever, the people who matter, the policy makers in these institutions. They are the ones who are supposed to be driving this agenda, so that your school will not be found wanting. Because if I put myself in the situation in whichever universities are affected in Angola, I think that I will not be happy to be hearing that my school's name is being mentioned. If I was a vice chancellor of any of these schools in Angola, I won't be happy to know that my school has been affected by the withdrawal of 83 health-related courses. So I think that there should be some level of personal interest in there as well, and then think of the bigger picture, so that we can be able to run away from some of these stories.
Exactly. So the institutions have been given 2 years to rectify this.
I think it is enough time.
Accredited.
It is enough time.
All right. So moving on to the next story, still on University World News. So this is focusing on African journals still underrepresented in global database. Despite global growth in indexed journal from 2003 to 2023, Africa's representation in the Scopus database remains low, according to a study published in the Journal of librarianship, and information science. The study, co-authored by Martin Kanyeka and Yuinji Kim, highlights that while African scientific publishing has progressed, most journals still struggle to meet Scopus inclusion standards due to limited resources. Experts agree on the problem but offer different solutions. Dr. Savo Hileta called the findings a confirmation of neglect, pointing out that African journals still make up only 0.9% of Scopus index titles, with South Africa, Egypt, and Nigeria leading. He advocated for an African scholarly index to boost visibility and autonomy. David Mills of Oxford University noted Scopus' bias towards the global north and suggested creating a dedicated African evaluation committee to help local journals meet standards. However, Professor Mohammed Hassan opposed lowering standards for African journals. Instead, he called for investment in training, peer review, and digital publishing infrastructure to help African journals reach international benchmark. So, Phil.
Yeah.
Our researchers, our writers, and publishers. So this is quite sad to know that although we are writing, although we are doing quite a number of research, and we have a lot of scientific articles, journals, and things, we still do not get to that international or global standard. And you know, Scopus is a platform that is quite it has a name globally, and here lies the case. We only represent 0.9, and even that, we have only 3 countries representing that: South Africa, Egypt, and Nigeria.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
Okay. Wait. I don't agree. It's a shame, but then maybe if you can explain why it's a shame.
I'll tell you why. I'm coming from 2 points. When you read the brief, there were 2 things I noticed. Number 1 is limited resources. Okay. Which I believe funding is key in there. Okay. And the second one is the bias towards the global north. Okay. So let me begin from the point of limited resources. Why do we have limited resources? It is possible that there's limited resources because maybe we as Africans are not so much interested in the research things that we are trying to do. It is possibly the reason we have more funding always coming from outside Africa towards these kinds of research, rather than coming from within, where we know that this is a research which is for us. And so when this is being done by us, we should be the ones funding it. Why would we have to want to wait for funding from elsewhere? The person that's funding you might not, I stand to be corrected, but will not probably, or will differ on agreement with you based on your outcome of the research. Okay, so if it is our thing, let's be the ones to finance it. Take full responsibility for it and go all out and do what we have to do. Because if in a certain situation the funding is limited, because we are talking about limited resources, I'm just sticking to funding, which is often the key one. You can imagine what the situation is going to be like. But if it is our own funds and we have made 100% funds available for the things that we need to do, why not? We'll go to the full end to do what we have to do because we are looking for something and we'll find it at all costs. Okay. Now, the second point is the bias towards the global north. The bias is towards the global north because the global north, they are the nations of the world which are characterized by a high level of economic and industrial development, and they are typically located to the north of less industrialized nations. A lot of African nations don't fall within, or better, let me just say that
the criteria.
So the bias will always be against us. Okay. So let's own the things that we do. Let's be interested in it. Let's put the money in it. Let's fund it. Okay. It is important because I've always said that we are the ones who can tell our stories better.
I agree with you.
So we need to find a way to wean ourselves off some of these biases and these influences. Look, we do appreciate the funding, the research, the support and everything that comes from the EU and the global or international people. Okay, we appreciate it because many of the things we have done may not have been possible without that. But I believe that if we take that responsibility upon ourselves, if every African government would engage their institutions, okay, which we have in abundance, and we always have the people who
are trying to convince me, but
oh, you have to be convinced because unless you have a better argument.
Well,
you see the way I've taken my time to go down with it.
Yes.
That's how passionate I am with this, because I remember we have talked about this, myself and Ajiman one time talked about this, and it was mainly an issue of funding at the time when because that was what we were discussing on that set at that time. But you can see that this thing has come back again. It just tells you how much of a key issue it is. So we need to put in the work. The end of the story for me is we must own it. We must own it. That's the whole point for me.
So my point is I was agreeing with you when you said funding. It's a challenge, but I don't think so imagine I'm a writer. I have some articles or journals ready and it says it does not meet the global standards. How does funding affect? The research is done.
That's because there's limited resources. So probably your research didn't get to where you want to see it. Let's say on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 is the highest. Because of limited resources, you probably were able to get to 3. And you are saying that you are finished. So you are going to present it. If it is scrutinized, you have not. If
that is the case, then so in this story, 3 solutions were given. The first one is we like infrastructure, developing ourselves to meet the standards, educating, like letting people know what the standard is in order. The second one is also establishing a platform that is going to encourage Africans. Just like you said, we can tell our story. Maybe it is not meeting the global standard because it does not fit whatever solutions or whatever challenges it's trying to. But then if we are to have our own platform, have our own criteria to determine whether it meets or it has to be published.
That could be a better solution.
To me, that is what I mean support. We should have an African platform. We shouldn't wait to be, yes, we are looking up to the global scope and landscape and all that, but if we are encouraged by ourselves, having a platform, a criteria that determines that, okay, my research passes or not.
Well, you have a good point.
Okay.
You have a good point. On that note, I think we'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue.
Are you a university, college, high school, private organization, NGO, individual professor, instructor or facilitator seeking to take advantage of the numerous benefits of online education? Look no further. The AAU eLearn Africa LMS is a great opportunity to begin your journey to online course development and creation for teaching, learning and training purposes. AAU eLearn Africa LMS, which is a partnership between the Association of African Universities and eLearn Africa, has made available ease to use online learning tools to all stakeholders within the educational ecosystem of the African continent. This is to enhance teaching and learning in the bid to expand online learning opportunities for students in Africa. The online platform is open and available for free to all stakeholders and facilitates virtual access to classes without needing the other tools such as Zoom, Microsoft Teams, among others. For more information, visit www.elearnafricalms.com or contact us via aaulms@aau.org or estherm@elearnafrica.com. Follow us on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook at AAU eLearn Africa LMS.
Explore a whole new world of exciting visuals with AAU TV. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on AAU TV. It's not just about watching TV, it's about experiencing something special. AAU TV reaches over 25 countries in Africa, bringing you a blend of knowledge and fun. Learn about different cultures as you enjoy the shows. If you have events or want to showcase your business, we've got you covered. Watch AAU TV free-to-air channel on satellite. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at AAU TV. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
This is Hello Africa on AAU TV. This is Hello Africa on AAU TV.
You're welcome back from the break, and that was the News Portal review with myself and Philemon. And moving on is the lifestyle segment, and this segment we bring to you trending stories on people who are doing influential things as well as extraordinary things. And I am happy to have here with me Ajiman Ochridako. Ajiman, how are you doing?
I'm doing good by God's grace, and you?
I'm fine. It's been a while.
Yeah, it is. Today I don't know what happened. And I missed the memo you did, but we kind of like coincidentally blended our colors.
Yeah. I'm still in the Ghana man.
Yes, I left Ghana a while ago. I'm still within the atmosphere.
Are you sure?
I'm still within the atmosphere, not in the country yet. But today's discussion has been great. You and Phil did a great review, and I think that you could have done more because more stories are there. We have so many stories we could do, but we believe that as time goes on, we'll get you the updates and on. It's getting hotter and interesting day by day on Hello Africa. And for lifestyle today, we always interview influential figures. And today we also have another equally influential person, an award-winning student journalist in this country. And, Unimark is doing something amazing to help nurture young leaders. And this young man is a flag bearer within a university setting. How can you have political parties within universities? But this is for the Political Communication 25 project, which is helping nurture young leaders, create political parties in simulation modes, and live that experience of you leading a party and a group to champion your goals, to transform the Ghanaian economy, help us achieve the Ghanaian dream. So it will be a great discussion.
It will be. So first off, let me just give people's our audience a brief understanding on what this is all about. I'm a past student of Unimark.
Oh, yes.
But I didn't have the opportunity to study.
She could have led a party.
No, I didn't have the opportunity to study political communication. But we did introduction to public relations, and it's some kind of similar to it.
Great.
As you are studying that course, you need to do what you are it's like you are acting what will be happening.
Yeah, real life.
So in my time, we were to establish a PR firm.
Okay.
And then have products and all that. So I think that is how this political communication is. You have to launch a political party, select a leader for it, have your
own primaries,
management, primaries
leaders,
and all that. So
yeah.
we can't really wait to hear from our guest who goes by the name Moses Desire Kuyo. We'll go for a quick break.
AKA MDK.
Yeah. Please stay tuned.
Sure.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.
All right, so it's good to have you back on Hello Africa. We're trying to get you all in tune with what's happening in the African continent. And, you know, a while ago, we we're just trying to explain how political simulations were helping young students build their political parties, and also nurture their goals and visions on how they would want to steer the economy, you know, from a very prime point, catch them young, that kind of thing. So, and I have with me, if you go to X, he's known as MDK or Mr. President with a 1. I'm glad to have you, Moses Desire Kuyo, in the house. How you doing, Moses?
Fantastic. I'm thankful. I'm thankful to God that He's given us an opportunity to continue to fight for the millions of Ghanaians in this country.
Splendid. You're looking great in your wonderful spoken, Ghana math and all that.
Thank you very much.
You know, it's a great story to hear. You know, you've built a great record for yourself as a young student within the journalist space where you got an award. And this has built you up, giving you so many credentials to also stand for this amazing stand. How do you feel about this whole initiative about POCOM 25 allowing you all to create parties and to steer this whole vision of politics on campus? How's it like?
I think it's important to understand that politics plays a very pivotal role in shaping national progress and development. And for communicators at the University of Media Arts and Communication, Institute of Journalism, the political communication course has become the poster boy of teaching practical communication, because what we learn in the classrooms are theories. We learn theories, we gather knowledge, we gather information. Now, this course gives us the opportunity to be able to practicalize these concepts and theories, to be able to understand better how politicians interact with the political environment and how we can assimilate the messages we receive from them. And for me, over the years, it's been a very riveting experience. I've learned a lot from observing other parties, be it from other course groups, other year groups. And this year, it's a privilege, and I feel very blessed and honored to be the flag bearer for Ghana's only true alternative to the NPP, that's a National Progressive Alliance.
Interesting. And tell us about yourself. How has it been for you growing up to build the kind of space like this?
I think so. My name is Moses Desire Kuyo. I have Ivorian ancestry. My dad is Ivorian. My mom is Ghanaian. Growing up, I think I've been fortunate to have a family that gives you the platform and the opportunity to be able to express yourself and find yourself. And I think that has gone a long way to shape my reasoning and my worldview, because I know in a lot of some Ghanaian homes, the opportunities that are given to the children are not as expansive and extensive as I've been given. I've been given opportunities to explore and find the things I'm passionate about. And that has shaped most of the things so when I was in the senior high school, I took up a lot of leadership roles, and that's gave me the experience to build upon. And now, even at the university level, I've occupied a lot of student leadership roles. And beyond that, it is the joy of serving people. It is the joy of contributing to progress within that social construct that gratifies me. And so I think I have a very solid upbringing, and it is reflective in most of the things that I do right from infancy to where I am today.
You are the flag bearer for the National Progressive Alliance, which most parties on the campus all have an alliance. We'll talk about that, why you all like alliance, your party names. But you are flag bearer. How did it, tell us about how it happened? Was it a tight competition for you, and how did you emerge as flag bearer?
Well, you spoke about other parties having the Monica Alliance in there. Most of them do it because it sounds nice. Unlike those parties, our party is an alliance because, politically, an alliance is a conglomeration of two or small political entities. And we are a union of the New Action Movement and the Progressive Action Movement. So we're a merged political party. So a day before Set March 2025, we launched our party because we've come to the realization that we have to join forces. We've been given a cycle of hopelessness, a cycle of dejection, a cycle of oppression by the NDC and PP hegemony. And we needed to join forces to be able to break the cycle and build a very progressive and equitable future for ourselves. So I've answered that question. Now, to how the experience has been, I started off joining the party without genuinely having intentions of leading the party. I just wanted to contribute my quota in the communications zone. I was a member of the communications team, and I was doing my best to advance the communication objectives of the party. But clearly, I think when you're doing a good job and when you possess certain skill sets and leadership abilities, other people notice it, and then they vouch for you to fill certain positions. And that was how it started. I was nominated for the flag bearer elections. I went through vetting. I topped the vetting. It was a fiercely contested election. I had two other competitors, but I had to go to the Delegates Congress, and overwhelmingly the entire party threw their support on me, which is a testament to the fact that they believe in my abilities, they believe in the core principles that I hold, and they believe that the next person to lead this country to the promised land, like the biblical Moses, is Moses Desire Kuyo.
It's interesting when you guys are making it so real. I like the fact that it's so real. And to make that reality more inflaming, let me put this to you. So a while ago, your other opponent, PAP, launched on 4th March, has gotten this commendation from an incumbent, I would say, interim SRC figure or chairperson of the SRC is backing the PAP, and you are with the NPA.
Yes, ma'am.
How does that actually affect your campaign? Because you have a very important figure supporting another political party on campus.
Well, I won't call it support as such. He's the SRC president of the institution, and definitely if you invite him for a gathering, he would be there. We didn't invite him, not because of any malice or any caprice we have against him, but we just didn't invite him. But it wasn't an endorsement, so to speak. But beyond that, he is not the only figure. Our focus is the over 30 million Ghanaians in this country. Okay. And he's not the only figure we are preaching our message to. We are preaching our message to every single person, because one of the core ideals we believe is that fairness for everybody. And so if His Excellency Bernard Kofi Nyame is quote unquote endorsing a certain political party, we respect his decision. But it doesn't stop us from preaching our message to the ordinary market woman, the ordinary road contractor, every single person who's part of our Ghanaian political divide. We have a message to preach to them, and those who want to subscribe to the message, they will. And clearly, we've hit the grounds. We are campaigning, and everybody's embracing the message because we have a very different message, we have a very different vision. And beyond that, we have a leader who has the ability to exemplify that vision.
Great.
So it's not really going to dent our credibility as a party.
Well, fair enough. But within that space of politicking, whilst you go in our campaigning, within the real political space in Ghana, quite tensions, because you have people behind the scenes, so many hooliganism happening, and somebody was at the 4-point, at the 10 view, and say, you have students who are being exposed to politicking at a very, very tender age, a very important period. Would this kind of project be devoid of that hooliganism and attacks? How unique and how special is this activity or this project shaping you?
First of all, I think eradicating the excesses of politics is going to take a while. And we've already seen some of these things, even in our small political
Is it happening within this project?
Yes, it's happening within.
Within this very, very unique project?
Yes, because it is not a characteristic of politics, it's a characteristic of human behavior. Because whenever there is a competition, people would resort to underhand means if they can't resort to the verified routes to be able to gain public attention or court public approval. So it is a characteristic of human behavior, which are parts of the excess of human behavior. But one of the good things that this political communication course is doing is that it's teaching us the ethics that are associated with. So it teaches about the propaganda theory, and even teaches you how to react to propaganda, the appropriate way to react to propaganda. And one of the beautiful things that the course lead for the political communication, Dr. Joyce Manyo, does for us is that she teaches us what is right. She exposes us what's wrong, but she teaches you to do what is right within politics. And it has helped us a lot, because for some of us, prior to entering the university and studying this course, what we understood about, we had a different world of view of politics. We understood politics to be the insult, propaganda, etc. But once you have an appreciable knowledge of political communication, you get to understand that there are very strategic means, very strategic, verified approaches to getting your message across. It teaches you persuasive communication, which helps you to draft and map out strategies how to coherently communicate to your audience. And so for that's what we focus on. And as a party, we are committed to making sure that we do politics devoid of the insults, devoid of the loose propaganda, the weak propaganda. If other parties want to subscribe to that, we are focused in our mandate in delivering real progress and prosperity to the people of this country.
Great. Now let's come to the main agenda, which is your political ambition with the NPA. Your slogan says progress for all, prosperity for Ghana. How do you understand this slogan? It's quite huge. How do you explain and express progress for all and in Ghana?
So, yes, you mentioned that it's I'll not say huge, but I'll say it's very powerful. It's a very powerful slogan. Now, when we say progress for all, prosperity for Ghana, what we are saying is that we want to build a country that regardless of your socioeconomic status, the country works for you. So progress shouldn't be the preserve of just a select few. It's the preserve of the wealthy, the preserve of the political class, not the preserve of the bourgeoisie in society. We believe that by virtue of your status as a Ghanaian in this country, you must have a fair share of the goodies that come with being in this country. That is what progress for all, and it's reflective in the shaping of our policies. Your question is moving me towards discussing our policies. We're having our manifesto launch very soon, and so I think it will be a bit premature to be shared. But generally, these ideals, the understanding that we must build a country that truly works for everyone, regardless of your political, tribal, socioeconomic status, that is what is shaping the policies. And for example, I can speak generally. I want, because my opponents are watching.
Yeah,
I know they might
we'll talk about the advantage with them watching because they can learn, and you also telling it.
Yes, but generally, this slogan reflects in our policy creation. For example, one of the things we want to do is to end the double track system, because we believe that per the current system, students who are subscribing to that system are not enjoying the same access and equality when it comes to the quality of education. And so we have a very robust plan to build more schools to be able to absorb the people who have to undergo this double track system. That is us thinking about everybody, thinking about everyone within that catchment area. So this specific slogan, I think, is arguably probably one of the most powerful slogans after Ghana, the beloved country is here forever. This is the game changer.
Yeah.
We are trying to deliver progress for everybody and make sure that Ghana, because genuinely, if you are in this country, you've seen the cycle. One of the things we also say is that we are breaking the cycle and we are building the future. One of the things is the cycle of hopelessness, oppression, dejection that Ghanaians do not deserve. We want to give Ghanaians the Ghana that they deserve. We pay taxes in this country, but we do not see the end results of those taxes. Currently, our fuel import bill is up $400 million every month. And we are an oil producing country. It is unthinkable that we should spend that, because we want to build prosperity for Ghana. I'm giving away our policies. In one of our
let's hold it back. Let's hold it back. You know, let's talk about something that would not really push you to talk about your policies.
Okay.
Today, we stand at par with international communities who are no longer giving us aid like they used to. We had the previous government saying that we want a Ghana beyond aid. He strived, did his best, but yet we see Ghana still lingering within the aid space. Today, we have US aid being cancelled in Africa. That means that we wouldn't be getting the funding we need. And even some component of US funding to WHO is also now retrieved or sort of called back. So we still have some deficit within our headspace. Yeah. What is how dangerous are these signs to Ghana's future in health and also humanitarian support? And as a political figure within this space, what are some of the ideas you have? We know your opponents are watching, but what do you think should be the next move for Ghana to be in a good standing space in health, infrastructure, and also humanitarian aid?
Okay, so first of all, let's understand that in as much as the policy is controversial, the truncation of the US aid support is controversial, he's putting his country first. And so you said dangers, but what I see is opportunities for growth for our country. It is a wake-up call to African countries and Ghana to be specific, because we must understand that countries that want to be self-reliant must be economically self-reliant. And so it is an opportunity for us to rethink the way we go about funding our national programs and relying on external aid. So one of the things that the National Progressive Alliance is seeking to do is to make sure that we implement a policy that has similarities with Nigeria's content participation law, which says that 60% of businesses in certain key industries, like the energy sector, like infrastructure, will be owned by Ghanaians. And the reason why we want to do this is that we do not want an external outflow of our resources that would affect the strength of the city. Because if we have more Ghanaian-owned businesses, we keep the money within our sector. That is going to go a long way to be able to bolster the strength of our economy. In addition to that, one of the other key things we want to do is to make sure that we partner the private sector a lot. Because one of the foundational political ideology that our party is built on is progressive social democracy, which balances economic justice with social welfare. And so the NDC says they are traditional social democrats, the NPP says they are property-owning Democrats, or they are capitalists. Our political ideology is predicated on the understanding that we are taking the best parts of capitalism and the best parts of socialism, and we are mixing it. And that means that in as much as a government we institute social safety nets, we are also going to do something we call public-private partnerships. Because some of the policies we have in our manifesto are ambitious, but there's a clear, sustainable funding strategy for it. And we're going to partner with private sectors to be able to fund some of these programs. Another thing we're also going to do is create what we call I'm giving away too many policies. The Diaspora Investment Bond, which is seeking to raise about $10 billion to fund some of our key projects. Yeah. All these things are geared towards making our economy economically sufficient, because we understand if our country is self-reliant, there won't be the need to rely or solely base our progress and development on such international funding approaches or programs. And so that is the focus for us. We are trying to move our nation from, and that is why I'm saying, one of the things that separates us from other political parties is that beyond their sloganeering, we want to do the real work. The NPP said that we are moving Ghana beyond aid. What do we see? They borrowed recklessly and mismanaged the economy. We are beyond the sloganeering. We are focused on doing the real work. And the real work is going to deliver real change and real progress to the people of this country.
You know, there is an interesting aspect to what is happening. What is your view of the intervention or the interference of mainstream political parties? Or when you hear that allegedly there is a political hand from mainstream politics which is fueling what you do on campus, the NPA or the PAP, everybody has got that affinity to a political party currently reigning in the country. Would you allude to this?
Well, we can't deny the overarching effects of national political parties in the annals of student politics. We can't deny that, because obviously even those organizations have student wings on campus, staying in the STESCON, and so we can't deny that. But what I can say, my creed to you, is that the National Progressive Alliance is an alliance of ideas and people. And what we believe in, that regardless of your political affiliation, whether you subscribe to the NPP or the NDC, once you believe that enough is enough and Ghana must chart a new direction, we embrace you. So personally, I was formerly an ardent follower of the NDC. I've worked in the NDC party. But I've come to the realization that the promises, the slogans, it's not going to cut it. What is going to cut it is joining a political party that is going to do the real work and deliver real change and progress to the people of this country. And so yes, it exists. But we have built a collective of men and women who are ready to defy the status quo and do differently. But I can't say the same for some of our opponents, because even there are certain flag bearers who were recently appointed to positions in some of these national political parties. So imagine you say a flag bearer for a political party, but you are holding a communications role in the National Democratic Congress. These people are there to lie to you. Nobody can say the same about Moses Akuyo. I have told you boldly that I've supported the NDC before, but I've come to the singular realization that the National Progressive Alliance is the only party that has what it takes to change this country, and that is why I'm the flag bearer for that party.
How will you get your funding to take this party to the next level? You know, so funding plays a very key role.
Funding plays a very key role. And so because political financing in this country has created a lot of our attended issues, one of the things we focus on is grassroots mobilization. And so for all the things we've done, and our expectations are not too high, because we know we are a party that is now starting, and so we are living within our means. And we are very thankful to the good people of the party who are paying their individual membership dues to the party. We have certain national executives who are also contributing their personal financing to help the party progress. Because you see, we have been fortunate to be blessed with people in the party who genuinely love Ghana for what it is and want to see it develop. And so we have a financial framework in the party where party members pay dues. And that's what we are using to finance. It might not be the best, but we believe that we are going to do whatever it takes to make sure that our message is heard in every nook and cranny. And that is the approach we are using for now. So we do not have political godfathers, we don't have political sponsors from other jurisdictions who are giving us money, because we believe it might influence our ideologies and our direction. We are doing grassroots mobilization. We are touching base with our party members, and they are the ones who are fueling the energy, drive, and passion you see here. And you see, I'm not here alone. I'm here with the first deputy chairperson of my party and the deputy national organizer. They're here to support, because it's an all hands on deck approach. And so, for now, that is the strategy we've implemented. As we move along, we look for far more sustainable financing strategies to help our party grow.
So fast forward, if you, let's say, complete your program in UNIMAC IJ, would you take this on as a national activity?
Yes, we already had the National Progressive Alliance.
So it's full stream. It's a full stream prospective political party within the Ghanaian space.
We do not believe it's a prospective. It is a Ghanaian political party.
What will you do? What will you do if you are presented with a very good offer to absorb you and add you to your former party that you support?
Well, we are an alliance. I've told you that we are an alliance of political entities. And so if the party believes that they share in our vision, I would say they should come and join the National Progressive Alliance. But my duties to my people, the people who elected me, my duties to them, my mission is to make sure that their hopes, dreams, and ideals are realized. And so if the NDC or the NPP believes that Moses Desire Kuyo is someone who should be in their party, I would say they should rather align with us, because we've already merged two parties. It's not going to take anything away from us if we merge with the NDC and NPP. They rather have to come to us, because we are building the next generation of young leaders who are going to shape this country and take us forward.
Great. Let's talk about this issue of a national plan, the launching of a national development plan.
Yeah.
That is very, very instrumental in Ghana's growth over the next 100 years. And every political party being subjected to working with the plan. Wherever it was left, you pick it up. What is your view towards this national plan being the fulcrum of national development, other than manifestos? So no manifestos, rather national plans.
I agree with you completely. The only reason why we have a manifesto currently is that we are not yet empowered to change a lot of things. And so we have to obviously spell out our policies and vision. We are promising the good people of this country that once we come into office, one of the key things we are going to prioritize is establishing a law that mandates all successive governments to stick to the National Development Plan. Because you see, the point here is that we are being drawn back by the difference in ideas. Because we'll have consultative meetings, deliberations, and draw a very coherent plan. But the NPP will come into this country and do whatever they like. The NDC will also come. We need to synchronize our efforts and continue from where we left off. And so that's one of the things that is embedded in our manifesto. I think I've given you too many goodies. I'm an evangelist of goodies. But I'm just saying that in our manifesto, one of the things we've spelled out clearly is the establishment of the law that is going to make it incumbent on successive governments to ensure that they stick to the National Development Plan and not manifestos. Because see, the manifesto now it has become just a buffet of sloganeering promises, and although ours is built on a smart approach, ours is very realistic. We are bold, practicable solutions for that is our manifesto. But if you take a look at our competitors, their manifestos are built on sloganeering and all those things. And at the point, it is not going to help us progress at the speed that we have to progress at. And so it's embedded in our manifesto that we are establishing a statutory law that is going to make it incumbent on, and there's going to be a very strong linkage between that and the Electoral Commission to ensure that political parties that seek to contest elections do not present manifestos, but are going to stick to the National Development Plan. The only thing we'll be voting for are the leaders to effect and execute that plan. That is what is going to take our nation forward.
What is the goal of this project? At the end of the day, is there going to be an election where there will be a president? Or what is the goal of this project?
On the 29th of March, we are going to have the grand finale. The grand finale is made up of the rally, where all the political parties in the competition are going to come and simulate a rally, a political rally. Yes. Then there's going to be a presidential debate where the presidential candidates for the various political parties will have a debate and will be assessed. And there's also going to be a town hall meeting for the vice presidential candidates. And that, based on all these parameters, together with your pre-grand finale communication, your social media communication, your media engagement, etc., they're going to be assessed and a winner is going to be declared. The idea here is that whoever is declared has won the general election, and so that person is going to, that party, political party is going to form the next government. That is because it's a simulation, but that's the understanding.
Yeah, so would there be voted, or it would just be an assessment of all these
over the years, there's been voting,
sessions?
and so we are hoping that it might continue.
Okay.
So over the years, there's voting, because obviously once you're able to campaign consistently, go out into the markets, go out into the streets, you have to see that your message is touching base with the people, and the evidence, the scorecard for that is the number of votes you're able to rake in. And so we're looking forward to voting too. And that's why we, the good people of the National Progressive, we're not relenting our efforts. We are touching and from here, I'm meeting the security service. I'm going to the Ghana National Fire Service to engage them, to listen to their concerns. After that, I'm meeting the grandfather of all Muslims, the leader of the Muslim fraternity in this country, the national chief. I have a meeting with him. And so everybody, we are touching base with everybody, because we believe that our message is too good to be told to one individual. Every single person in this country must listen to the gospel according to the National Progressive Alliance.
Indeed, I'm impressed by this whole simulation. It's much more serious than I thought it was. Very, very serious.
No, we are serious.
Yeah.
We are taking it serious. I don't know about the other political parties,
yes.
but we are serious.
Your opponents will really tell you when they get you.
Oh, we're ready.
All right, so we have just a few minutes to wrap up, and I want you to say a word to the entire Ghanaian community. You know, you're trying to reach everybody, so you have the camera before you. Tell them what the NPA seeks to do and why they should give you their nod to be the leader of this great country called Ghana?
Fellow countrymen and women, my name is Moses Desiree, a young man that has walked the annals of politics in this country and has come to the realization that if change and progress is going to happen, it's going to take a collective of people who are ready to sacrifice their time, energy, and resources, devoid of political, tribal, religious affiliation, to advance that progress and change. And I'm the flag bearer for the National Progressive Alliance. We're not just a collective of people who want to do politics. We have a clear plan, which you'd see when we launch our manifesto very soon. We have a clear plan. We have the men and women who have the ability to execute that clear plan. And beyond that, we love our country. And so regardless of your political affiliation, regardless of your sex, your tribal affiliation, the team, we do not discriminate against anybody. Come and join the National Progressive Alliance, and together, let's chart a new path, a new direction for this country, because 32 years of the NDC and MPP hegemony has caused us too much. Inflation is over 29%. Our debt stock is hitting a little close to $680 million. It is important that we understand that for posterity, to realize the Kwame Nkrumah dream, where Ghana becomes one of the foremost players in the world market and also the poster boy on the African continent, we need to work together, build unity, and make sure that we are putting our hands to the wheel to make sure that we transform our country. And my creed to you is that if you elect me as the next president of this country, I am going to put my life on the line and sacrifice my time, energy, and resources to make sure that dream becomes a reality, not just for you, but for future generations. Thank you.
Thank you. Well done for showing up here, and great message out there. Please, I want to say a big thank you to all leaders within the Unima KJ space. This is an amazing project that you've launched through POCOM to help build our colleagues, students to look beyond the university space and think much more national, be nationalist right from school. This goes a long way to empower them and make them beacons of leadership that we look up to. And I am DK Moses Desire Kuya. I really look forward to see you make great strides within the main general political space, and let's see Ghana grow.
At this point, I'm sure you've been convinced, so we'll be giving you a membership card right after that.
No problem. I will look forward to be part of your team because I believe that you have a vision.
Thank you.
To steer the affairs. Have a nice time.
Thank you.
All the best. And that's how we wrap the lifestyle segment. We'll go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with Hello Africa. Stay with us.
Explore a whole new world of exciting visuals with AAU TV. Get ready for a mix of interesting talk shows, interviews, discovery documentaries, and news on AAU TV. It's not just about watching TV, it's about experiencing something special. AAU TV reaches over 25 countries in Africa, bringing you a blend of knowledge and fun. Learn about different cultures as you enjoy the shows. If you have events or want to showcase your business, we've got you covered. Watch AAU TV free-to-air channel on satellite. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, formerly known as Twitter, at AAU TV. Reach out on call or WhatsApp us at +233 26 629 6601 or +233 20 399 5210. AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa.
Hello Africa, keep watching AAU TV.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks. Welcome back from that commercial break, and we'll go straight into the segment we call Game on Africa, which is a sports segment on the Hello Africa morning show. We'll begin with trending stories. In a monumental moment for Newcastle, the club secured their first major trophy in 70 years by defeating Liverpool 2-1 in the Carabao Cup final. Dan Ben, a lifelong Newcastle fan, opened the scoring with a towering header just days after earning his first England call-up at the age of 32. Alexander Isak added a second goal nearly in the second half, sealing the victory despite a late VAR confirmed goal from Liverpool's Federico Chiesa. Newcastle manager Eddie Howe made history as the first English manager in 17 years to win a domestic trophy, marking a jubilant day for the Toon Army. The triumph was celebrated as a long overdue achievement for the Geordie faithful, who last tasted domestic success with the 1955 FA Cup.
Trippier driven crosses. Oh, handball, is it?
Trippier's pulled it away.
VAR is saying that his arms are out for balance, just takes it a little bit away from Diaz. I think in Europe it's a penalty. I think in England we're probably all agreeing that we wouldn't like it against us.
Ticking up to 45. Trippier with drift. In goes Burn! It's the boy from Blythe!
What a header! It's Shearer-like!
Was there a man for whom it was so obviously written? Taken back by McAllister. Salah in borrowed time at the end of the first half for Liverpool. Shaped in by Salah, set back by Diaz, and snatched at by Jota.
Well, the first time they get Salah on the ball in a dangerous position, something happens.
Rooted in by Trippier, kept alive by Charlington, and touched it by Isak!
Offside.
But the flag is up. Isak has questions to ask. There's going to be a question around Bruno Guimaraes and his proximity to the goalkeeper in an offside position.
Is it because Guimaraes is in front of Kelleher, maybe?
Yeah, that's the only reason why it can be given offside, because Isak's onside by a good half a yard, 2 yard.
Harvey Barnes. Livramento kept moving. Livramento lifted it in, and Murphy is back stick. Geordie nation euphoric. It just might be happening.
That's not easy. That ball bounces a good yard in front of Isak, but he swoops it into the net. What a finish.
McAllister. Diaz. Soboslai, oh what a save, Pope! Reacting to the strike from Jones and turning it behind for a corner.
Curtis Jones from back to front was brilliant here. He sets off this attack with a wonderful bit of play, and then he ends up near the penalty spot and nearly gets Liverpool back in the game.
In goes Guimaraes. And Barnes, and Isak, and what a block on the line by Kelleher. And the game's still just about alive.
It's a beautiful little cross. And Barnes plays it across. There's a touch behind Isak, which makes it a little bit difficult for him.
Joelinton. Taken back by Elliott. Rolled up here for Chiesa!
Oh dear.
Hang on!
Oh, he's off.
Oh, he's offside.
He's on.
Yeah, to the naked eye looking at now, he clearly looks like at least half a yard onside. I just don't think Fabian Schär's got out quite quick enough. I think this goal will be given.
After review, The Liverpool number 14 is onside, and the final decision is a goal. And there's life left in the final. Gallagher lumps it forward. Van Dijk, what a header. Out came Joe Linton. At last! At long, long last! Newcastle United are winners! The Geordie nation has its hands on a trophy! Eddie Howe can walk on the River Tyne! 56 years since the last time! 7 long decades since last!
And in our next story, former Manchester United midfielder Paul Pogba is actively seeking a new club after completing his doping ban, with France head coach Didier Deschamps confirming ongoing discussions. Despite the 18-month suspension for a banned substance, Deschamps believes Pogba, who recently turned 32, can return to top-level football. While rumors have linked him to various clubs, including a potential move to the MLS and Inter Miami, no deal has been finalized. Deschamps has emphasized that Pogba must first secure a club and demonstrate his form before a potential return to the French national team. Pogba, who maintains his innocence and cites an unintentional breach of anti-doping regulations, has been sharing training footage on social media and expressed his eagerness to resume his career. Former England international Dele Alli endured a nightmare return to competitive football after receiving a red card just 10 minutes into his first ever game in over 2 years. The 28-year-old, who joined the Italian club Como in January on a free transfer, came off the bench against AC Milan on Saturday in what was meant to be his comeback moment. However, a late tackle on Ruben Loftus-Cheek saw Ali initially booked before VAR intervention led to an upgraded red card. The decision sparked outrage on the Como bench, leading to head coach Fabregas also being sent off. Even Milan's Kyle Walker, a former teammate of Ali, pleaded with the referee to reconsider. Ali's career has faced significant struggles in recent years, including a turbulent spell at Everton and a loan stint at Besiktas. His last competitive game was in February 2023. His journey back to football has been marked by personal challenges, including revelations about childhood trauma and mental health struggles, in a widely praised interview with Gary Neville. We'll now do some updates from the leagues around the world, and we'll begin with the English Premiership. Arsenal edged out Chelsea with a 1-0 victory at the Emirates. Mikel Merino's deft header from a set piece in the first half proved decisive. Chelsea missing key forward Cole Palmer due to injury struggled to penetrate Arsenal's defense, with Marco Cucurella's late volley being their closest chance. Manchester United secured a commanding 3-0 win against Leicester City at the King Power Stadium. Rasmus Højlund broke his goal drought, netting the opener, followed by goals from Alejandro Garnacho and Bruno Fernandes. Leicester's defeat deepens their relegation concerns, marking their 7th consecutive home league game without scoring. Fulham boosted their hopes of European competition with a 2-0 victory over Tottenham Hotspur. Goals from Muniz and Ryan Sessegnon sealed the win, placing Fulham just 3 points behind Manchester City and 4 behind Chelsea in the league standings. Tottenham's lackluster performance raises questions about their domestic form as they shift focus onto the Europa League. In other notable results, Nottingham Forest beat Ipswich Town 4-2. Brighton and Hove Albion also drew 2-2 with Manchester City. And then Wolverhampton Wanderers won 2-1 against Southampton. The Premier League table standings, this is what it looks like on the table. Arsenal sits in, Liverpool sits in a commanding lead with 67 points, followed by Arsenal in second place with 54 points. Nottingham Forest holds the third position with 48 points, while Chelsea and Manchester City round up the top 5 with 46 and 47 points respectively, both vying for Champions League qualifications. Now we'll go into La Liga. And Barcelona staged a dramatic comeback to defeat Atletico Madrid 4-2 at the Metropolitano Stadium. Despite trailing 2-0, goals from Robert Lewandowski, Ferran Torres, who netted twice, and Lamine Yamal secured a crucial victory, keeping Barcelona level on points with league leaders Real Madrid. Real Madrid strengthened their title chase with a 2-1 victory over Villarreal. Both goals from Kylian Mbappe ensured the win, keeping Madrid in pole position as the season enters a critical phase. In other results, Athletic Bilbao beat Sevilla 1-0 away from home. Getafe secured all 3 points to move up the table with a 2-1 victory over Osasuna despite being a man down. Rayo Vallecano and Real Sociedad also played a 2-2 draw. And then Girona and Valencia also shared the spoils in a 1-1 draw. And this is what the La Liga standings look like currently. Barcelona and Real Madrid both sit at the top of the table with 60 points, but separated by a goal difference. Barcelona still has a game in hand, which may give them an advantage if they win that game. Atletico Madrid sits in third place with 56 points, and Athletic Club in fourth place with 52 points. We'll go into the Italian Serie A now, and Inter Milan secured a crucial 2-0 victory against Atalanta, solidifying their position at the summit of the Serie A table. Goals from Carlos Augusto and Lautaro Martinez ensured the win, despite both teams finishing with 10 men after late expulsions. Now, this result extends Inter's lead to 3 points over Napoli. Juventus endured a 3-0 loss away to Fiorentina, increasing pressure on manager Thiago Motta. Goals from Robin Gonçalves, Mondragaro, and Gudmundsson handed the Turin side their second consecutive heavy defeat. Juventus now sits in fifth place in the standings, 1 point behind fourth place Bologna. In other results, Napoli were held to a goalless draw by Venezia, allowing Inter to widen the gap at the top. Bologna beat Lazio in a 5-0 goal win thrilling encounter. AC Milan beat Como 2-1 in a game that saw Dele Alli play for the first time in 2 years. And this is what the Serie A table looks like. Inter Milan remains at the top of the Serie A table with 64 points. Napoli sits in second place, just 3 points behind with 61 points. Atalanta holds third place with 58 points, while Bologna's 5-0 win over Lazio has pushed them into fourth position with 53 points, placing them in a position overtaking Juventus. So it means that Juventus has dropped to the fifth position with 52 points. And finally, to the Bundesliga. On Saturday, RB Leipzig secured a 2-0 win over Borussia Dortmund, while Mainz and Freiburg played out a thrilling 2-2 draw. Union Berlin and Bayern Munich also played out a 1-1 draw. Frankfurt defeated Bochum 3-1, while Bayer Leverkusen edged past Stuttgart in a high-scoring 4-3 game. Heidenheim triumphed 3-1 over Holstein. And the Bundesliga table, and this is what it looks like. Bayern Munich has 62 points at the top, followed by Bayern Leverkusen with 56 points. And then Mainz has 45 points in third position, whilst Frankfurt has 45 points in fourth position, and then Leipzig 42 points in fifth position. And that is the end of the updates with the leagues around the world. Now let's come back home to Africa and the rest of the world anyway, where we are going into an international break and most countries are going to be playing the World Cup qualifiers. So Ghana is playing their first game on Friday with Chad in this international break window, and then they'll play the next one in Morocco with Madagascar. So we are looking forward to see this matches beginning from Wednesday all across the world, and Ghana in particular playing on Friday. And then the boys are coming into town today. And so camping begins today through till Thursday when they play Chad in Accra. Ajiman, what are you looking forward to in this game? The coach has made his call up anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have seen the list.
No, I haven't seen the list.
Great. Okay. I'll go into the list
Yes,
and then
no, pronounce them. If the player is good, I will say check. If so, but I will say
Now you want to play the role of Otuado.
Yes, let me
to be
assess.
sure you they have called the right people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So quickly let me go through the squad. So Atizigi is back.
Atizigi.
Yeah. Let's begin with goalkeeper. So Atizigi is back. Joseph Wolacott and then Benjamin Asari of Hearts of Folk. That's a local player in there. Defenders, we have Gideon Mensah, Ebenezer Annan, Mohamed Salisu, Jerome Opoku, Alexander Jiku, Jonas Ajeti, Razak Simpson, Kingsley Schneider, and then Kamara Dini Mahmoud, who is also a local player. In the midfield, there's Thomas Partey, there's Elisha Wusu, there's Abu Francis, there's Kudus Mohammed, there's Enes Nyama. The forwards, we have Antoine Semenyo, who is in really good form lately. Kamal Dean Suleimana, Jordan Ayew, Jerry Efie, Inaki Williams, and then Christopher Bonsuba. These are the squads. These are the squad. The list for the squad. This is a 23-man squad listed by Coach Otuado. What do you make of the squad in the first place?
You know, Phil, when it comes to the Blasters case right now, you just don't want to put yourself on the spot. Some say the players. Most of them are not inexperienced. Some say the coach himself hasn't got things on track. Maybe today, maybe this match, this upcoming match, will help us to appreciate what the issue is. Is it the coach or the players? The guys are good. I mean, from head to toe. I could actually say, no, for everybody is good. They're all doing well in their respective spaces. Exactly. So what happens when they come down here?
That's a big question.
Yeah, what happens when they come down
here? Take a look at Semenyo this season. He's
been doing a great job. I've seen him.
Inaki Williams is in good form. These guys are playing week in, week out for their clubs and they're doing well. So everybody's asking, why is it that when they come to Ghana, they are not doing they don't replicate what they do in the clubs?
Absolutely.
At the national level. I think that because in the national level, they are not playing with the same squad that they are playing with in their leagues. So in a certain sense, maybe there's no team cohesion yet. The team was broken down and they're trying to build up again. I mean, I'm not giving an excuse for them.
I mean, you are trying your best, though. Today you tried with Bell, it didn't work. With me too. The thing is, I think that we have to be very, very circumspective when it comes to the Blasters issues. It's been so many years, we haven't seen the headway. We haven't had that optimal Black Star team that we're looking at. We've had several payments. We've had several simulations, mixing up the players in diverse capacities to see which team group, which class of team is the best. So you have all these extra players who are playing for several roles. The defense, we have like 4 or 5 players who are there that we have to pick 2 or 3 from. We just need to find the best fit. The best 11 for the team. We still haven't figured out what the best 11 will be.
It's still a major challenge.
Where abilities are well complemented and goals are scored. We haven't still gotten there. And if we can't figure this out, we'll still go on in circles.
Would that be a problem of the coach?
That is where the issue is. Maybe there's something wrong somewhere with the coach. And I'm bold to make that clear. That over the past, we're very bold to change coaches. We've sourced around the Serbian spaces for coaches. We've gone to other countries. We went to the UK, we came to Ghana, and now we still work for Ghana again. Yeah, it's a good thing. But if this time we don't deliver an optimal team where abilities are optimal, where capabilities are optimal, where there's great cohesion, we can't be doing this to ourselves.
Okay. Now, quickly, before we go, when the squad was named, the coach mentioned that Jordan Ayew is going to be captain of the team. It sends some sort of shockwaves in the camp of the squad because it doesn't make sense to just take the captaincy away from Partey and then suddenly give it to
Partey is right,
and he's still in the squad. Do you think this could affect the performance of the team?
Our biggest bane has been all those backbitings, underminings, and dissatisfaction when it comes to how we allot who is a leader and not. It began from Asamoah Gyan's time with the general captain.
Oh, it has always been an issue.
So if you have a team which is filled with such animosity like this, where people feel like this person is not entitled to be this, and therefore we can't be loyal to the person, when you have that issue, forget about winning. It will not happen.
Well,
because nobody is siding with you. Teams like Portugal and co. Let me just say an example. In Portugal, during the World Cup, Ronaldo had a tough time. Why? Because Hernandez, who he felt was quite junior to him in terms of ability, was captain. So everybody says, why is Fernando?
Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, Fernandes is captain. Ronaldo is not captain. So where do we now show respect to us? Is he the star player? Whilst Messi was seen as the star player. And when that happens, all attention and strength is optimal. So we should be able to bring that kind of hierarchy where everybody believes that this person is the bona fide leader of the house. Let us all show him the respect and loyalty. And when that happens, it's safe, it's better.
Well, let's just hope that this captaincy problem will not be a factor to their performance. So we wish the Black Stars will, as they begin to camp today in Accra, and then they'll play their first game at Accra Sports Stadium. That game is at 7 p.m. on Friday, and then on Monday they'll be playing in Morocco against Madagascar. Let's see what comes out of this. This is the World Cup qualifiers. Hopefully we fail to make it to the AFCON, which is happening in December. But we just hope that they'll be able to do something with the qualification into the World Cup. And so this is where we bring the curtains down on this edition of the Hello Africa morning show, which comes to you every Monday from the headquarters of the Association of African Universities. Any last words, Ajuman?
Well, it's take it or leave it. We'll live for a purpose. So just fulfill your purpose, okay? Go for it.
Right. Okay.
Hey, so this is Dishant from Unica University Common Application. I recommend you to watch AAU television.
AAU TV is the place to be for every person in higher education in Africa. Better be there or be nowhere.
Continuez de regarder la télé et surtout sur le AAU.
Keep watching it and it will change the way you interact with higher education on the continent. AAU, great job.
I want to tell you that AAU television is fantastic. It's educative, it's informative, and it is a must for anybody who is interested in higher education in Africa.
When I was in Accra last year, I did an interview on this TV. It's a very important mouthpiece.
It's a data, it's a bank of all we need for the development of higher education in Africa.
People should make an effort to view it because it discusses very current issues of development across the continent.
I believe that the station will continue to promote the overall development of Africa, particularly in the tertiary education sector.
AAU TV provides a platform and shares a lot of information to a broader audience. So we wish you all the best and please continue serving AAU TV,
the voice of higher education in Africa.
This program is proudly sponsored by Venom Mineral Water, Share the Love, and Bigo Drinks.